origin goes to the Greek museum, which means a temple or a scientific institute. And that lead to the word musea, which means the Lady of Mount. And the Lady of Mount is associated with the nine art goddess, the daughter of Zeus, and that also was similar in the Egyptian, ancient Egyptian was also always related the goddess art. The first museum here, it was supposed to be in 1835 with some initiative with some intellectual Egyptian. They want to gather all the artifacts, but Egypt at that time was under the Ottoman Empire, and the Khidewi, something like Muhammad Ali, they were not interesting for the ancient culture. So it's delay, and it's start. They give a small house in Azbakiya Park. It was nice place at the time, but it was very small. Then it's moved to Pola Museum, a little bit bigger, and then in 1878 it was a Nile flood which destroyed and damaged in part of the museum in Pola Takru. And then they insist to with this Ismail, Khidewi Ismail. He has so many palaces all around Egypt. They agree to give a small one, but still we discover more and need more. So it was the need to make a new museum. They located in Tahrir Square, which still exists until now, and it was in 1896 when they announced a competition, and it has come from 73 company difference, and they opened this ceremony in 1902 and invited all from different places. This you can maybe remember this still until now. It was that time it was a very nice art of piece of art this time. Now we're talking about 120 years ago, and it like you see here, it houses more than 136,000. Yes, 136,000 artifacts, but also stored in the basement more than 100,000. So that is quickly the history. Now we have this in Tahrir Square, and we will talk later. There comes the idea to make a new museum. In this period under the Ottoman Empire, that as still here is more than 2,000 artifacts have been either bought and stolen and smuggled. It was a period that it's illegal to buy, but now it's all around the world. Accepted that as kind of propaganda, of course, but still they will not give it back to. Anyway, this museum here, you can see it's getting smaller, getting crowded, polluted, and then smaller and smaller, and vanishing the Cairo, which is now 21 million. Now we go to the next chapter here about the transport of Ramses II. Ramses II probably is the most famous pharaoh in ancient Egypt. He born in 1303 BC, and he has a beautiful wife Nefertari, and he has got 90 children, and he ruled Egypt in 67 years. And all his statues is remarkably that all his statues is the lift. You can see point here. The lift leg advancing forward. Some symbolize that all his decision and his action is coming from the heart, or product of the heart. So that is the Ramses X. So the first trip Ramses II must be, nobody knows exactly details about that, but must be when they make it in Aswan from a pink granite and transported to the Memphis. Memphis was we heard Memphis many times today. Memphis is the northern capital of Egypt that time. And so the first trip, it was from Aswan, maybe about 800 kilometers through the River Nile, until Memphis. Memphis is located like 40 kilometers south of Cairo. It's named Mitrahina now. It's the name, not far from Badrashin. And they discovered in 1820, they discovered in 6 pieces Ramses II. And Ramses II was 83 tons, 11 meter, and they discovered it in 18. So they prevailed it like that in the horizontal until in 1955 the government decided to, the second trip, to move it to the center of Egypt, of Cairo, and they transported also through part of the Nile and part in vehicle in a horizontal position. And they rebuilt it. They cut it actually in 8 pieces and rebuilt it again in Cairo Center, which was that time, 1955. The population in Cairo wasn't not more than 8 million or something. Now it's 21. And then standing that, but he getting smaller and smaller between the ugly building and the bridges, and you can see, so it was necessary to move it, and we will talk about that next. The third trip was it when they issued a visum, a tourist visum actually, to Ramses, mummy of Ramses, for examination and maintenance to Paris. And the French aircraft flight the mummy to Paris, and they receive it as a royal, they receive it as a king, and they make all this ceremony with 21 bullet fire and guard music and all the thing. And you can see that the date of birth is 1303, and the expire of it was 5 years, exactly like any passport. They did that. I knew later they did that just to secure that maybe someone think to keep it there in Paris and not back to Egypt. So he is Egyptian person and have to back it to Egypt. And that was when they received it in Paris. The fall trip, was it in 2006? That was a technological challenge because they have to go through Cairo for 30 kilometers in 10 hours, 5 kilometers per hour in a vertical direction. It was not easy. They supplied for the counterweight two flat screen in order to keep it millimeter accurate in the vertical direction. It was a very good process, and the people actually follow this all the night. And that trip, it's supposed to go to have to go to Giza platform, not far from the new Grand Museum, waiting to come in when they open, to be in the entrance when they open. So the fifth trip, it was few kilometers from the Giza platform to the entrance of the new museum, and that was in 2018. Now it's stand actually waiting for opening the museum. Now, as we mentioned, the museum getting polluted and crowded places, so it was necessary to have a new museum. The government decided in 2002 to have built a new and located 2.5 kilometers from the Giza Pyramid platform, and they located in a very smart way because they any places, we'll talk that later, you can see always from any angle the pyramid. It's they announced a competition, and it's came 1557 different proposals, which make it making in history the world in history the largest competition in architecture competition in history. All the proposal was outstanding, great and difference. They work hard, but they have to come to number one, which was won with these two young architects from Ireland. They graduated from Harvard, and they produce more than 5,000 drawing and details for the project. The project is supposed to finish in, you can see here the location, is supposed to finish in 2012, but it was a delay for many reasons. Some reason like it was in this period, the unstable Egypt because the dictator military regime was. And then in 2011, the revolution, as you know, and they spelled out the regime out, and then but the regime come back, the dictator regime come back in 2013, and still till now. But lately the Corona crisis now we have the Ukrainian war. All these things was make this delay actually. The financing it's to 50% from loan, 25% from agency, state agency, and national collection, and the rest 25% supposed to come from donation from international donation and sponsor and so on. So that here details. It was complicated. The infrastructure, the complex was about 500,000 square meter, and the building itself it's 120,000 square meter, and the main hall is it's a size like 25,000 square meter. And it was difficult, the infrastructure, because it's level, the area is difficult to build on it. There's different level. Anyway, it took a big effort. The front facade, it's made from special alabaster stone, which shines in daytime and passes the sun through, but preventing the heat, which is suitable for bigger. As you can see here, that's the main hall, and it's meant that you can see from any angle a part of the pyramid or part of it. Here's the entrance. The third and fourth floor in the museum is size like 6 football pitch, contained theater, garden, and cinema, restaurant. You mentioned all this facility, mall, and all this thing. And also it has the world largest research center for covering, for maintenance, for restoration, and has 12 laboratorium for maintenance, for studying, for scanning, for studying the mumias. So it exists now. It's right now it exists. The visitor, they estimate that it will be from 6 to 8 million every year, and it's the collection, the artifact now. It's about 100 pieces already in transport in the new museum. Besides the Tutankhamun collection, which besides other collection. They already achieve like 80% of the Tutankhamun possession collection, and 55 pieces of the artifacts, it's in their possession, waiting for the opening. Nobody still know where the opening it will be, but here also the tourists can sharpen their name or company or organization and pay for some money, which goes to restoration, for contributed for, they put it in a fund and to more restoration for artifacts. That's the whole entrance. Right now it is Ramses II, it stands like that. It was hoped to have Nefertiti head, which is in Berlin right now, which is stolen or smuggling in 1912 with the Ludwig, how he was Egyptologist living in Egypt, but somehow, and the efforts fail to have it even to borrow for the opening of the Grand Museum, but it's failed. They don't risk to maybe will not give it back again to them. So thank you for your participation and see you in the opening.